This is Love Your Work. On this show, we help you make it as a creative, find your unique voice, find the right mindset to succeed, be the first to capitalize on new opportunities to make a living making your art. I'm David Kadavy. If you want to join us here on Love Your Work every Thursday, please hit subscribe on your podcast app. And if you want the very best of Love Your Work, if you want the gems I've discovered in my thousands of hours of research into history's greatest creators, all in a short weekly email, sign up for my Love Mondays newsletter. You're going to love it. It is at kadavy.net/Mondays. Have you ever wondered to yourself, how the hell did I end up in this situation? I asked myself this question once. I was changing my clothes in the bathroom of a filthy, fuck my life laundromat in Chicago. It was a terrible situation, but I learned an important lesson. I'll tell you about that lesson in this week's episode. It's time for the Love Your Work Listener Showcase. I want to hear more about the great stuff you listeners are creating, and I want to showcase that work here on the show. This week, we're featuring Luke Freeman of Positly.com. Positly.com is a platform for recruiting and managing research participants. Luke says that studying and understanding people is at the core of most problems, ranging from our health and well-being to public policy. So if you're doing some research and you need help recruiting and managing participants, check out Positly.com by Love Your Work listener Luke Freeman. If you'd like to be featured in the Love Your Work Listener Showcase, fill out our short application. The sooner you fill it out, the better your chances of being featured. Go to Kadavy.net/showcase. That is Kadavy.net/showcase. I'd love to feature your work. Here's the episode. What I learned in the dirty laundromat bathroom. I don't have the latest iPhone. When I order from Amazon, it takes 2 weeks to show up. Uber drivers routinely call me to ask for directions. Directions I have to give in Spanish, no less. By the standard of some past version of myself, my life is full of annoyances. But on top of this, I had to flee the country I call home 5 times last year. I was having visa troubles where I live in Colombia. A string of bad luck, miscommunication from immigration officials, and incompetence on the part of everyone, including myself, meant I had to make several emergency trips and spend a total of 2 months out of the country. Throughout this ordeal, there were moments when I genuinely wondered whether I would survive. For example, when I found myself changing my clothes in the dirty bathroom of a laundromat in Chicago. It felt as if God or the universe or randomness was trying to kill me. I asked myself, how the hell did I end up here? The literal answer was because, after having to flee the country yet again with 24 hours notice, I had checked into an Airbnb with a high infestation of bed bugs. When you're exposed to bed bugs, you instantly become a leper. Your friends cancel your couch reservation. Dry cleaners refuse to help you sterilize your clothes. And it's not like you can walk into a hotel and tell them you're looking for a place to rest your head after escaping a bed bug-infested Airbnb, though maybe there should be some kind of industry-wide discount for that. Instead, I had to torch my clothes on high heat in an industrial-strength dryer, the kind of dryer you only find at a filthy, fuck-my-life laundromat with unidentifiable liquids on the bathroom floor, which you have to prevent your pant legs from touching as you change while standing on your shoes. The kind of laundromat you choose because it only has 2.5 stars on Yelp, and because Yelpers complain that the employees don't give a shit. That's the kind of place you want when you're trying to act like there's nothing unusual about transferring your clothes directly from a garbage bag in your suitcase into a dryer. That's the kind of place you want when you don't want anyone to notice that you just changed your clothes in the bathroom and threw your previous outfit into that same dryer. That was the practical answer to my question, how the hell did I end up here? But as I looked in the mirror and asked myself that question, while the muscles in my face twitched as if my whole body would crumble under the weight of my existential dread, I came to a realization. I had chosen these problems. No, I hadn't chosen to have my visa rejected without grounds after investing a significant portion of my life savings in a Colombian business. I hadn't chosen to be the only investor of said company whose visa was rejected. I hadn't chosen to have an immigration officer mark the wrong number of days on my passport so that after one emergency trip out of the country, I would return to find out that I had far fewer legal days left than I had originally thought, and so that I would then have to turn around and hide in Panama for 9 days. I hadn't chosen to return from that trip only to have my visa rejected again and to have to leave within 24 hours and this time stay out of the country for the remaining 7 weeks of the year. I hadn't chosen, after landing in Chicago, to walk into an Airbnb with lentil-sized bedbugs marching over the couch upholstery as if they owned the place. I didn't choose to be in a situation so desperate that I would eventually find myself, at age 39, spending 6 weeks living with my 70-year-old parents in a retirement community in Arizona. I didn't choose any of that, but I did make choices in my life that put me at a much higher risk of all of this. Why exactly, I had to ask myself, do I have a savings fund called Visa Snafus and another one called Emergency Travel? Because I knew what I was getting into. I knew something like this could happen someday. So in that dirty laundromat bathroom, I had 2 choices. I could let this fantastic collusion of mishaps drive me into a nervous breakdown, or I could admit to myself that it was all worth it. I could be grateful that behind me was the exciting experience of living in a foreign country for 2 years. 2 years that, no matter what, no immigration official nor whim of the universe could take away from me now. I could look forward to the possibility that I would get through all of this and return to the life I had built. Or I could get excited about what unexpected place I would land once this blender I was in stopped whirring. This was the moment that I realized an important truth. It's the reason I'm not bothered by my old iPhone or my slow Amazon deliveries or Uber drivers that don't know how to use GPS. If you don't actively choose problems that help you live an interesting life, you'll invent problems that prevent you from living an interesting life. Is Love Your Work helping you find your unique creative voice? Does it bring you the inspiration and motivation you need to become the creator and human you want to be? If so, please be a part of making this a special and nourishing and thoughtful show. Support the show on Patreon. You'll be an even bigger part of this show than you already are. If you contribute just a coffee a month, you'll be helping support the hosting and production of Love Your Work. Everyone has some unique creative gift to offer the world. Together, we can give people the tools they need to bring that work into the world. The world will be better off for it. Visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/Kadavy. This is a different kind of model for supporting the work that you love. The choice is yours. Vote with your dollars, put your money where your mind is, and keep Love Your Work going. Visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/Kadavy. As a thank you, you'll get early access, bonus content, and a discount on Love Your Work merchandise. Learn more at patreon.com/Kadavy. That's patreon.com/KA, D as in David, A, V as in Victor, Y. And if you can't support the show financially, and you've listened to at least 3 episodes, can you do me a favor? Write a review on Apple Podcasts. You can consider it your donation to help support the show. Love Your Work is brought to you in part by our Patreon supporters, such as mini-sponsor Paula Spriggs, and top supporters such as Jeffrey Mason and Vitas Pinkavicius. This has been Love Your Work, and I'm David Kadavy. The theme music for this show is At Sea by Dorena from the album About Everything and More by arrangement with Deep Elm Records at deepelm.com. Love Your Work is a production of Kadavy, Inc.